Hello everybody, Steven here with Cardboard Coalition. And today I thought I would bring you guys a video that I've been talking about bringing you guys, which is the YouTube channels that I tend to watch regularly or keep on the radar at least. But to start it off, I want to say there's a whole bunch of channels out there. If you found our channel, awesome, I appreciate it. But there's also other channels to get information. There's bigger channels that cover more stuff. And there's bigger channels that cover more specific stuff, and there's smaller channels, all kind of channels out there. But there's a couple I wanted to mention before we dive right into it. I know if you're watching the screen in the background, you can see where I'm going to start with the official channels I want to talk about. But you have ones like Dale the Casual Gamer, if you're into Marvel Champions, or he does a lot of Marvel United. If you're into Marvel stuff, he gets into that. I'm sure he does other things, but I tend to watch his to understand more fully in his playthroughs how a certain character deck works and things like that. So you have him. You also have one called Rado Runs Through. Very popular channel. I was watching it here and there, but in some ways they got really political, and I'm very much a leave politics out of it, because though you out of the goodness of your heart you think that you're fighting for some righteous cause and you're going to bring that righteousness forward, or as was talked about, it's a platform and using that platform to put out your ideas. Remember, those are your ideas, your theories about things, and you're going to push a whole group of people off to the side. So I stopped watching it as much, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good channel. It has tons and tons of followers. Lots of people love the channel. They do reviews and previews and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of stopped watching it because I want everybody to enjoy. If you have different politics than me, okay, cool, right? And I get some of what Rado is saying. He had some problems with people just being rude, it sounds like, in his comments and stuff. I get it, but there's a very big push to wear certain shirts that show their politics, his politics and stuff, and that's cool. Your channel, do whatever you want. But I started fading off because of that, because I felt like it wasn't all inclusive. It wasn't saying, hey, everybody, join in, which I think he was saying that, but it's just not the vibe sometimes it's given off. So I kind of fell off watching that one, though it's still a good channel. And then the last channel I wanted to bring up is Tantrum House. Nothing wrong with the channel, very family orientated, and my son is, I gotta do the math, 22, I'm getting old, 22 years old. At this point right now, filming the video, he's 22 years old. I got into the gaming hobby after he became an adult. I'd love him to join in on it, but we'll see. But the family orientated, not that there's anything wrong with it, it's great, just not necessarily what holds my interest. But they do cover what's coming up, previews, reviews, all that whole shebang. There's very much a family orientation to those videos. So those are three other videos that I just want to mention really quick. The Dale the Casual Gamer, Rado, or I think it's called Rado Runs Through, and then Tantrum House. But with that said, let's jump into, I gotta go down here. Let's jump into the channels that I watch regularly, right? And those other ones I do watch here and there if they're covering stuff that I'm interested in, but channels that I watch regularly. So the first one, and from my understanding, this is the granddaddy channel of them all. From my understanding, Tom Vassell is kind of the granddaddy of doing this. He was one of the first to set up a YouTube channel that talked about gaming, and they do everything under the sun. This is like watching your, and not in a bad way, but watching your big media companies, your CNN, your ABC, your NBC, MSNBC, Fox, all of them, right? I'm not saying one side or another. All of them, right? That big feel, though it still feels personal, because you can tell that they're doing this on their own. They don't have a ton of money backing. They probably got more than other channels, but not a ton. It's not a big corporate setup. But this is kind of the granddaddy channel, and this gives you everything. If you see on the screen here, you have the crowd surfing right there. That's something I tend to watch. I wouldn't say religiously, but close, right? I think I just don't like using the word I watch religiously. But every time one pops up, I tend to watch it. It talks about what's coming up in the next, or what's ending in the next 7 days on your crowdfunding sites, so your Kickstarter and your Game Found. They also do board game breakfast. I believe they do them once a week. They might do multiple. They do playthroughs. They do everything. So it's almost like like I said, like one of the corporate, the big name news channels, but for gaming, right? And they do it all, the playthroughs and all that kind of stuff. So this one, I tend to watch a lot. Let's see, if we skip down, it gives you lists of stuff, right? So you have crowd surfing. Those are updates. Popular, of course, it's not showing me all the other things. Some channels, they'll have them all split up. So crowd surfing, like I said, is what it is. The board game breakfast will give you news, and sometimes they do little games with each other. Not like playing board games, but they'll have like trivia game kind of things, and they talk. There's Q&A with Tom Vassell, which is the main guy is Tom Vassell, and there's some other people. And I'll try to make sure I put all the links to all these YouTube channels in the description, at least the ones that I'm going in depth. The other ones, you can go out there and find. They're not really hard to find. Just kind of type them in. Or you'll come across these channels anyways listening to these guys, because this is how I started. Came across the game channel, started watching it. They talked about another one. Started watching that one, they were talking about another one. As I started watching those, the YouTube feed, the algorithm, however it works, started dropping more channels, and then I started watching them. All right. So the Dice Tower is one that I go through a lot. It's overall gives you lots of information. Doesn't mean that they don't go in depth, but tons and tons of information. They got lots of people there. Fun channel. They also do, which would be fun to go on. They do a board game cruise. They do conventions where you go play board games. I have yet to go to a board game convention. I kind of want to. So I think it'd be interesting, but it's an experience I haven't had yet. All right. So next on here, and in no particular order, it's not I watch this more than this than this. Kind of watch them as they pop up in my feed because I've subscribed to them. But the next one on here is Alex Rafter. Rafter? I don't think it's Rafter. Probably screwed up your name, Alex. Sorry. But it's Board Game Co. Now I'm all mixed up because I messed up his name. But Alex Radcliffe. I think it's Radcliffe. Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And so this channel deals with a lot of things, but the main focus of this channel, I would argue, or maybe it was his starting points, kind of what he worked on. It was, or it still is, now I lost it. Kickstarter, Game Found, crowdfunding, games that are coming out. And he'll talk about games that are coming out, and his big thing in here is games that you should back, right? Not that you should back. Let me take that back. His big thing is, and I'm not editing that out, his big thing is, should you back it or not? And he gives you a price value of Kickstarters. And I got a lot of my information, my understanding of Kickstarter from watching his channel. And he admits to his biases, which I always love when someone admits their biases. We all have biases, right? He admits to them. He does a lot of other videos like why you shouldn't back things, purposely going against what he's already done, right? He tries to give you an overview and a in-depth look at the Kickstarter, I was going to say kickfunding, crowdfunding, Kickstarter, Game Found, crowdfunding, arena of games. It seems like a lot of games come from there, and even big game companies do their games on there. That's a debate for another day. But in his video, let's see what we got down here. Random unboxings. You see, I've watched a lot of these videos. Sorry, I didn't watch your state of the channel. He very much makes it feel personal. He's talking to you. He brings in his wife. He brings in, I don't know if it's sister-in-law, sister, and I'm only guessing from hair color, but there's another person he brings in. And with that said, I'll add another channel that I didn't put in this list for no particular reason, but it's Quackalope, and I believe you can find it under Quackalope. Same thing, reviews and Kickstarters and previews and all that kind of stuff. And the more popular they get, the more previews they get and all that stuff. Good filming and editing in that. Just not one that I watch all the time. If a video pops up and it's a game I'm interested in or have and want to know more information, I kind of check out the video. That's Quackalope. I'm sure Alex Radcliffe, I'm pretty sure it's Radcliffe now, Alex would appreciate bringing up his friend channel. I feel like they kind of grew together. They made friends early on and grew together. I'd love to find some YouTube friends to make friends with and then grow too. But Board Game Co. is, you're looking at not necessarily just Kickstarter, but I would say bread and butter is the Kickstarter stuff and value in your Kickstarter. Also know that with Alex's channel with Board Game Co., Alex also runs a website called Board Game Co. where you can sell and trade your board games. So he talks a lot about the secondary market, which is some of it's interesting, some of it's not. I'm not at the point where I have 500 games and I'm getting rid of games to bring games in, and I want to know if I don't like this game, can I sell it instantly? And I'm not necessarily looking for justification in buying a game sometimes, or justification in not buying a game. It's just trying to get that overall cost value of a game, right? So I can make a more informed choice. But like I said, he's also very conversational. They're fun videos to watch. I haven't gotten so far into where I comment and stuff like that, but I'm sure when they're doing live streams, that would be fun too. All right. So the next one is King of Average. This, I would say, if you're looking for that in-depth look at a product, at a Kickstarter, from everything I've noticed, and I could be wrong, it seems mostly Kickstarters he goes in depth. He seems to have a fairly good knowledge of how miniatures are made and stuff like that, but he looks at cardboard quality. I think in some of my videos I even talked about, I steal some of like the back of the book. I like that idea. It should have on the back cover, it's nice to have that reference guide. Right on the inside of the back is having the index and the glossary, words that I forgot in one video, but see, my brain does work. But index and glossary. But he does a very in-depth look at the production value of games. He also talks about games coming out, right? He also talks about news. He has all that kind of stuff too. He is another person that seems to be very genuine when he is addressing the audience. I'm not saying that the other channels aren't, but you get this very genuine feel. He definitely, I don't know if it's a shtick or not, but he definitely has he always brings up, no one gives me money to do this stuff. I do it all off not crowdfunding, but off you guys, and I can't think of the name, GoFundMe kind of stuff. I don't know if that's a shtick, so more people do it. Nothing against him, but he definitely, his thing or his shtick is kind of to be negative about things, and don't get you to avoid watching that channel. He's not like, oh, this is all crap. This is all crap. Everything sucks. Like Angry Joe, if you're a video game player or you watched videos about video games, there's a guy named Angry Joe who that's his shtick. Literally, oh, I'm angry about whatever, and he'll find this small thing, but like, oh. But his show is fun too. His YouTube channel is fun. He also does movie ones. It's fun. But King of Average definitely has, it feels almost like this little bit of a shtick, but he tends to be very honest, and I appreciate that. And you get a lot of good information about quality of games. I think it was Destinies by Lucky Duck. You guys might not be able to see behind me, but Destinies by Lucky Duck. He talked about how thick the boards were, and after getting a couple games where the player boards and the token stuff were really thin, I was like, oh, maybe I do want to check out that game. Ended up not doing it, and Resvon actually asked me before it was out, you could still pre-order it if we could get that game. So we missed the Kickstarter, but I got in on the pre-order and got her the game, the main game, and we're playing through it and having fun. But anyways, back to King of Average. Very honest. He's going to do an in-depth look at the product, especially when he gets the product. He is very much a miniatures guy. He's very much, I feel like, a dungeon crawler, dark kind of stuff, which is cool. I like that stuff. Rise of Moloch. I have, God, I wish it was here already, but I haven't heard anything. It's supposed to be coming this month. Dark Rituals. So very much into that kind of stuff. Good channel, fun channel to watch. All right. I'm going to try to make the video short. The next one is Shut Up and Sit Down. These next ones I don't watch as much, but tend to flip through them and watch them a lot too. Shut Up and Sit Down. They do a fun playthrough, review, kind of setup videos. They're really fun to look at how the game plays, look at their thoughts, and just how they set it up. There's a comedic value to it that it's more having fun, not ha ha ha, I'm funny, don't you think I'm funny because I'm funny, which some, not these channels, but there's some people who do that, and I do watch that sometimes too for just general game information. but not necessarily funny, fun filled, fun videos to watch. You can tell they enjoy making the videos and they enjoy making the reviews. So you'll get how to plays and reviews from them. Very interesting to sit down and just watch, right? And then let's jump to the last one. And this is Watch It Played, right? And right now I can't think of the guy's name. This is his face right there. But there's a whole bunch of other videos that are connected to this channel. I don't know if there's a larger channel, Watch It Played, in there. I think Watch It Played is the large channel, and then they do other things. But how to play games, for sure. This is probably one of the best how to play game videos that I've seen, which I shouldn't say that, right? Because watch our videos too, because we talk about how to play. But after I read the rule book, set the game up in front of me, I tend to watch this. They tend to be very short, relatively short. You can watch through and get a better understanding. And I believe it's this channel, but this channel might be part of another channel that does this. But if you watch this channel, you'll run into it. It's kind of these people down here. They do game reviews. They do, because here we go. They do, like, this lady here does some of the comedy. She does like comedy things. I mean, it's not that they're not great. I just don't get a chuckle out of them. It feels forced. Though the information is fun. I guess it gives you a little extra to it. So I think this is one of the sub channels. Now I'm kind of glancing through it. But you would see the larger channel. The thing about Watch It Plays is it's a great way to look at how games are played. Now and I might be mixing this up, like I said, but now the bigger channel this goes under, you get reviews, you get Kickstarters coming up, all that kind of stuff. And this one has a comedic lean tilt to it. But in some ways, it's no knock, but it kind of feels forced, so it's not as enjoyable, I would say, as the shut up and sit down just showing. Sorry, my air conditioner's kicking on. I really thought I turned it off this time. Anyways, it's not as enjoyable just because it feels forced in some ways, but they do have great information they're giving you, right? And they'll talk about the hottest games or games moving up on the hot list. And they give you great information. Just the forced or the staged, I guess, not forced, I guess staged comedic kind of play that's going on. Just not my cup of tea, maybe for other people. But Watch It Played is definitely a great channel to when you want information about games and how they played. And they've been doing it for a while, so they have lots of games. So because the air conditioner kicked on, because I want to make this a short video, kind of want to close it up right now. But these are all channels that I tend to watch, that I like to get information from, that I find enjoyable. And there's a lot more out there. The thing is, once you start watching a channel, you'll learn about other channels. Other channels will bump into your feed, and you can kind of play around and click this one and that one. There's one, I think it's called Board Games and Sundry. I could be wrong. They're fun in the sense that they become very thematic. So whatever game they're playing, from the videos I've watched, they kind of dress up that way. So there's another one you can kind of check out. And they do a playthrough. I can't remember if they do reviews. I'm always thinking about the playthrough. There's usually a lady who does it. She's always themed. She dresses up very themed, and the setting's always themed for the game. Production value, I would say, is really good. So they're entertaining too. So I think it's Board Games and Sundry. But anyways, these are videos that I tend to watch to gather information. I started watching when I first got into buying games for myself. I was kind of playing games before that, but I guess that's when you really get in the hobbies, when you buy them yourself. But these are the channels, the 5 channels. There's 5 channels that I mainly watch, and then a couple other channels that I've talked about. And as you watch this, you can find more information. But as usual, help us grow this channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. You can hit the notification bell so you know when we have a new video coming out. But beyond that, I'm Steven with Cardboard Coalition. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Oh, salt and pepper here, and we're in effect. We're working up a sweat.